Potter's Journal, just a quick, let's see what's in the kiln today. And my question is, okay, just what is happening here? And, I thought electric kilns were simple and characterless. What is happening here? It seems that the slower and slower I take the end of the firing, the better the results I'm getting. And yeah, wow, the slower I take the end of the firing, the better the results I get. Also, I think this glaze, I put through a sieve this year, and that's done a couple things. I did a dinnerware set that I didn't put through a fine enough sieve and had little specks in and had to throw it all out and then put it through the proper sieve and got the glaze nice and thin, clear and even. However, here I overfired the bisque, so a few of these plates, yeah, I had trouble getting the glaze to adhere well because they weren't very porous, being overfired. So my dinnerware set I ended up having to do again, and even some of the pieces I didn't have to do again couldn't be part of the first set because they were accepting the glaze different. But in that case, the glaze had to go through a sieve and correct it. In this case, I think something that was making this glaze look good, giving it some interest and character, came out of it and made it a bit more bland, putting it through the sieve. So, just some random thoughts. And yes, taking the end of the firing slower. And these are luminaria that I didn't fire last year because I didn't like them, and I don't mind them so much now. This is standard snow on brick, and last year I had it pinholing a bit, taking the end of the fire slower and slower. It seems to be coming out much better. So now the question is, how slow can you take the end of the firing? This little hobby Duncan kiln has like 10 knobs to turn up. And yeah, this too is a piece that was done left over from last year, and taking the firing even slower. It seems the T-bowl seems even better than the ones that came out of last year's firings. This kiln has the white, there's nothing there. This is the first sea mist again here on a let's see, on the over bisqued piece where it didn't accept the glaze well, and one that wasn't over bisqued and accepted the glaze. Okay, and pie, good. I layered these on my Bluey Standards Sea Mist and my Albany Slip Glaze, but there was a different combination of the layer that I really liked, so I'll have to find, I think there's still one of these left from that early combo, and figure out which glaze I put on first, second, and third, because it really made a difference which one was over the one underneath. Okay, so I thought there was really nothing in here because it was a lot of old pieces, but some very different results from last year just by taking the firing much slower. And okay, yeah, there's 10 notches on this kiln, and this time I only went up to number 7 and just let this heat slowly rise. Okay, in a special order for some goblets, and the bottom relatively thick. I do have an S crack in the bottom of that. I don't know. I've never done these before. I don't know if that's a problem. And I just wanted to... these are not a production piece for me yet. They were all different, but I wanted to try out a couple glaze combinations before doing them all the same. And the double bowls, this year's style, taller, and as opposed to low and wide like last year. Yeah, the glazes are so much richer, taking the end of the firing slower. And where it comes from that you can't do anything in an oxidation kiln, this is year 2 back to this for me, is just beyond me. Yeah, when you look at this and the way the one over the other, and you know, after saying it was the sieve that took out the character, I see here there's purples and you know, blotchy and showing through, and here clear. What is going on? An electric kiln, where did that come from? And I wish okay, it was placed like that, and let's see, I'm trying to figure out where the boring part was. There, this just makes no sense to me. This is all things that I was under the understanding didn't happen with a boring, dull, everything's always exactly the same electric kiln, and I like where the two glazes come together, that halo effect thing. Okay, this was okay, and some garlic jars from the last firing where I just pulled out the lids and didn't have room for the garlic jars. Okay. And there are 2 of those. Wow. Very different from the last firing. Very different. Yeah, boring old electric kiln where everything comes out exactly the same. And I'm going to say, yeah, just taking that end of that firing extremely slow, letting... not putting it up to high, having it on medium high, and letting it go up on its own. I don't know if the camera caught anything that I was describing, but that's why I described it. Electric kilns, if you work at it, may not be as bad as, well, we've been led to believe.